Hello, this is Cathy Cassidy and I'm here to do another Sunday book club. So this is going to be the last episode in this short spring series of Sunday book club, but we do today have a few questions and comments to read out from the YouTube channel, so I'll just dig in and get stuck into those. The first comment is from Annoying Child, who I think that's the funniest YouTube name ever. I'm sure you're not annoying and not a child probably, but anyway. Annoying Child says, I have just finished reading Driftwood and absolutely loved it. I was so excited when she got to keep Krusty. I was in class with my best friend Scarlett when I was reading and I accidentally shouted out, yay! The book was amazing. So Annoying Child, that, both the name and the comment really made me smile this week. So thank you for that. That was brilliant. Leah Rose says, I'm about to listen to, or I have been listening rather, to Sunday Girl as a bedtime story. I listen every night religiously and I am listening from Denmark. So that also made me smile. It's lovely. I know we've got readers commenting from places like India and Sri Lanka, and it's great to include Denmark as well as the UK and Ireland. So you're very welcome aboard, Leah Rose. Gayashri says, I am also a fan of Stargirl, which you mentioned last week in your book recommendations. I remember being awed by her bravery. I'm currently reading a YA fairy tale called Lost in the Neverworlds by Aidan Thomas. It is imaginative, intriguing, and beautifully written. If you like retellings of fairy tale stories, I encourage you to try it. So that's a lovely book recommendation from Gayashri. Thank you ever so much for that. I'm going to check that one out for sure. Nathini says, I have just finished reading When the World Was Ours by Liz Kessler, which you recommended. It was unbelievably touching and heartbreaking, and I cried my eyes out, but it is now one of my top 10 books of all time. My recommendation for you is the School of Good and Evil series by Soman Chainani. There is a Netflix movie being filmed in Ireland to be released next year. So that's also a really good tip. Thank you, Nathini, for that. Alekia says, I am in India and although we cannot go out because of lockdown, your books are getting me through the lockdown. I can't wait for the new series as I've read your other books 2 or 3 times already now. Kate says, the start of a new series, yay. I'm currently reading Piglets by Clementine Beauvais. I saw it had good reviews from you and Catherine Rundle, so I just had to read it. My question is, how do you plan your books? Does the story sometimes surprise you, or do you know exactly what will happen next? It's a very good question, and the answer to that is the plot and the storyline often comes as a bit of a surprise. I think I know what's going to happen when I start off, but quite frequently the story will veer off in unexpected directions. And it will surprise me, and things that I probably haven't planned or imagined will definitely happen. It happens with every single book that I write. And I love that. I love that, that the story can surprise me and that the characters can do things that I never expected or imagined. It's as though they come to life and start writing the story themselves, which is cool. It's kind of the reason that I still love writing so much. It's that little ingredient that's almost like magic, or the that just edge of unexpectedness, and knowing that your story has its own plans about how it will unfold. It's not necessarily, even if I sat and planned it all down on paper, which I very rarely do, it would still go its own way. So I quite love that. So Kooky says, do you know what your new series will be about yet? I really need a new book. And the answer to that question is yes, I do. And I'm very excited by the new series that I'm going to be starting to write once Sunday Book Club comes to an end. I've just got a few loose ends to tie up here with something else I'm doing. But once they're done, I'll be starting on the series. And it's the first time I've felt this excited by a series idea for quite a while. So it's very cool and a nice stage to be at, really. I do know what's going to happen. I know the characters and I know the plot lines, barring all the magic, unexpected twists and turns that it might, that might suddenly pop up and appear, and definitely will. But I'm not going to share it. I can't really talk about my writing until the book is written, and then I'm happy to kind of give you hints and ideas of what it might be. But I feel as though it's a strange thing to say, but I think that if I talk too much about it before I actually wrote it, I would probably never write it. So I'd rather stay quiet right now and make sure that it actually gets written. And Kooky carries on and says, I really need a new book, but meanwhile, do you have some recommendations of books which are similar to yours? And secondly, you've said in a previous book club that you were writing 2 chocolate box sequels for readers in France. Have you started those yet? So we've got two more really good questions from Kooky, and I'll answer the second one first, just to be slightly awkward. She says, the 2 chocolate box sequels that I wrote for France, have I actually finished them? Well, I have. I first of all wrote some synopses for the comic book books that exist in France. They sadly don't really exist over here in the UK. But I know I've shown you little glimpses of those books before. They're very highly illustrated, full colour, large size, hardback comic books. Very, very beautiful. And yeah, you've got the characters inside like that. Well, this one, Cœur Noisette, and this one, Cœur Cannelle, they are the 2 sequel stories. And I wrote kind of detailed synopses, almost like a script kind of thing, for the comic books to be illustrated and done. And they're now done and out in France. And then straight after that, I wrote both books in novel form. And they are also, to answer your question, they also have been sent away, edited, translated into French, etc. And I think one is now out and the next one will be out at the end of the year. Cœur Noisette was the first one. And I thought I'd just give you a little teasing glimpse of the story. Just going to jump straight to the end, really, of the story, where we can see that Coco is staging a sit-in with some of her friends and her sisters, and there is we've got a little bit of animal rescue going on, with some chickens being rescued and taken back to Tanglewood. And then on the next page we've got a little glimpse of what could be a kind of protest festival taking place. So something very interesting is going on outside the village in Kittner, but you can also see that Sky in this part of the story has a new love interest, and things might not be going all that well. So I'm not going to spoil it by telling you what happens, but yeah, I think that Sky has earned a happy ending, so we'll keep our fingers crossed. And Cœur Cannelle is the second of those sequels, and it kind of starts off with Summer coming home from dance school to spend the summer in Kittner and reuniting with her sisters, which is lovely. But as you can see from those pictures, there's kind of lots of drama going on, a big storm taking place and a lot of damage being done in the village. So yeah, if I flick towards the end of the story, or the middle even, Summer decides that she's going to put on a big drama and dance performance to try to raise money for the village hall, but it does cause a little bit of trouble between Summer and Alfie, and there's all sorts of problems to sort out before things kind of take a turn for the better. So you'll just have to be guessing about what might happen. But I just love looking at the comic books. I also love the way that the characters look so French in those pictures, which obviously they're going to because they're illustrated in France and all the rest of it. But it does make me smile. So to answer Cookie's other question, she said, what recommendations of books do I have that are similar to mine? It's hard to suggest books that are similar to mine, but what I can do is say, if you like my books, you might like this. And the first book I'll show you is Piglet, which somebody else has just mentioned in the comments. Piglets is a French author called Clémentine Beauvais, and it's been translated into English, but it is set in France, and you will be quite interested and fascinated, I think, if you read that. How different, very slightly, but how different things might be, the French culture and the French way of doing things and what French teenagers are like, but a really, really lovely story. So that would be my very first recommendation. Another one I think you might all enjoy is Sita Brahmachari's Artichoke Hearts. I'm all tongue twistery today, which is just lovely. It's on the strap line it says, how do you let someone into your heart when your heart is about to break? So if you want a kind of romance with a bit of a difference, try this. It's a strong voice, different from a lot of what else you may have read, but full of feeling and a little bit unique, I think. So you will enjoy. Another one that's quite different and quite cool is This Beauty. It's called The Cantankerous Molly Darling, and it's by Alvi Caraga. That's just me continuing my trend today of not being able to pronounce anybody's name. It's set in rural Ireland, and it's Molly Darling basically has the most eccentric family going, and everything is slightly chaotic in her life. Such an unusual and interesting voice, and such a heartwarming story that I think my readers would really enjoy this. So yeah, that's Alvi Caraca. And what else have I got? I've chosen 3 slightly older books, which you might enjoy. One is the Threads series, okay, by the lovely Sophia Bennett. And this is a series of 3 books, which, you know when you read one book and you just want a little bit more of something the same. Threads is one of those series that is going to grab you and grip you, and perfect for anybody of age 9 and upwards. I think, yeah, it's got a kind of fashion and style theme to it. It also asks some interesting questions about where our clothes and fashions come from, and the characters in the story are so compelling and so adorable, and you know, you're really going to care about them. So this is number 1 in the series, but as I've said, there are 3, and that's Sophia Bennett. And the next is this is also a series. It's Seriously Sassy, and I think this is the first one in the series, by Maggie Gibson, who's a lovely friend. And it is about a girl called Sassy, who also, interestingly enough, has a very interesting and slightly insane family. And Sassy embarks on a musical career. So if you've enjoyed the Lost and Found series that I've written, I think you'd also enjoy Seriously Sassy. It's light and funny, but it's got real heart. And Maggie Gibson yeah, check out her Seriously Sassy series. I think you'll love it. And last but definitely not least, book by another friend, Fiona Foden. It is the most beautiful story. It's called A Kiss, a Dare and a Boat Called Promise. And it is about a couple of kids who have an adventure involving a narrowboat. And yeah, it's a lovely story. And yeah, I just think lots of adventure, lots of unexpected, a bit of kind of jeopardy in there. But the characters, again, are what make this such a gorgeous story, and, you know, something I think you'll really care about the characters and the adventure that they're going through, and hopefully happy ending. So yeah, Fiona Foden, she's only written a few books for teenagers, but they are lovely. So this one, I think, is my favourite of those. And that's it for today. And I'm going to just say goodbye until the autumn, unless something, you know, dramatic happens before then, or unless I miss you so much that I have to come back and keep vlogging a little bit more. I'm going to take a break now and get some writing done. But please do join me on social media. You know that I'm on Facebook. You're welcome to join me either on the Facebook fan page or on my personal page. I'm also on Instagram, so join me there. Don't do Twitter. So yeah, that's not going to work. But anywhere else, I should be track downable, and the website cathycassidy.com is chugging along as normal. So do keep in touch, and again, once more, a very special hug and all our thoughts to readers in India, in Sri Lanka, in Nepal, and anybody who is still struggling in a country that's not doing so well with the coronavirus thing at the moment. For the rest of us, try to enjoy your summer. The last week has kind of been a bit iffy here, but I'm really, really hoping that we've been promised better weather. So let's hope for all of us that things are brightening up and that the future is looking a little bit brighter and rosier. Let me know. Keep posting. Post your questions. Post your book recommendations. Let me know how you've got on with reading any of the books that I've talked about. And yeah, tell me how you're getting on, because I feel as though the whole Sunday Book Club thing, we've all become almost like friends, I think. And yeah, I just want to know that you're all okay. And I will do my best to read and respond to every message that's left on YouTube if I can. So take care, and I will see you very soon, or quite soon. But until then, enjoy your summer and stay safe and take care. I'll see you again.